Hare Krishna. So today we are going to continue with chapter number 4, correct? And we are on verse number 21. 21. So this section, actually before starting, let me just do a quick recap of the entire. Smita is coming out a long time, so maybe I'll quickly do a quick recap. So, first chapter, what was the acronym that we discussed? First chapter. Quest. Yeah, some of you have come after second chapter. So, first chapter, it was quest. Starts with questions. Question by Dhritarashtra. Then Duryodhana goes to that uneasy feeling. Then E is encouragement. Right? They are giving encouragement by blowing the conch shells. After that, there is sight, because now Arjuna is going to see the army, and finally it's turning point where Arjuna is saying, I don't want to fight. So just by my basically goal is just through that acronym, we can understand what that gist of the chapter is, how the chapter is flowing. Similarly, what was the acronym for second chapter? Dress, correct? Because Krishna says in second chapter that how the dress is changing. We don't think much when we change a dress. Similarly, a realized soul doesn't think much when the body is changing from, soul is changing, changing the body from one body to another. Right? It's like a dress. There's a Nayam, that entire verse is there. So that is second chapter. Then the third chapter, the acronym was or is. That is fourth. It reminds me of Munna by MBBS, where Sanjay Dutt was asked a question. You remember that Viva was there? So there he answered something, and then he said, no, this is the question of previous. Remember? Let's see. Anyways, so third was karma, and all the entire discussion is knowledge or action without attachment. All that it goes through. Remnants we discussed, meritorious people, and then A was anger and lust. That's how the entire chapter flows through. And the fourth chapter acronym is wisdom, right? In that, the first 4 verse talks about worshipper. Krishna says, if you see the third verse or fourth verse, let's see. Fourth verse. He says, third verse he says, Bhakto Sime Sakha Cheti. It is verse page number 174 for small book, and for hardbound, Shweta can say 184. Krishna. Yeah, he says, Bhakto Sime Sakha Cheti. Rahasyam Etad Uttamam. Who can understand this knowledge? Right? This Bhagavad knowledge? One who is a devotee of the Lord. One who worships the Lord. One who understands that Krishna is my master. So the first 4 words talks about worshipper or well-wisher. Okay, that is W. 5th to 10th talks about, this should be easy. Ishwar. Yeah, oh wow, that is another one. Incarnations. Yes, he talks about how there is various incarnations that is coming, and what is the duty of the incarnations, right? Yada yada hi dharma se Mahabharat, B.R. Chopra, famous one. Yada yada hi dharma se glani bhavati bharata, Dvitana Mangalam, that verse comes, right? And then there is a very specific verse that comes, which is very, very sweet verse. That is the 9th verse. He says, Janma karma cha me divyam, evam yo veti tattvataha, tyaktva deham punarjanma, naiti mam eti swarjuna. Right? Today is Julan Yatra. So there Krishna is saying that one who understands my appearance, transcendental, divyam, right? Janma karma cha me divyam, divyam. It's not ordinary, it's transcendental. Appearance and activities. One who understands this, whose mind, Krishna is saying, he will not take birth again in this material world, mortal world. Right? So that was W-I. And then 11th to 15th, we discussed about sanctions. How Krishna is sanctioning everything, right? And we discussed about 3 misconceptions. One of the misconceptions is caste system, right? Then we discussed about demigods worship. We discussed all that in and Jatuma Tatopat. Any path leads to the same goal. We discussed all that in 11 to 15. Right? That was sanction. Who sanctions? Krishna says, I am the final sanctioner for everything. Through obviously Devtas and everyone. That was letter S. And then last class we discussed from 16 to 20 only we completed. But basically it is till 24. So today we will just go through that translations quickly. 16 to 24 was detached action. Here Krishna is talking about action without detachment. So akarma, karma, vikarma, that tongue twister, action in inaction and inaction in action. Remember 18, you can see that. I don't know which chapter. Karmaniya karma ya pashe. Page number 195 was small book or big book?
206.
206. Oh, I can actually go here. 18. Yeah. It has bigger font. If you want, you can use that one. This is little small font. So here he is saying one who says inaction, inaction, and inaction and action in action is intelligent among men, right? And we discussed what does this inaction in action means and action in inaction means. We discussed that, right? So we completed till verse number 20. So today what we are going to discuss is from verse number 21 to 24. We'll just skim through it and then base the main section that we are going to discuss is from 25 to 33, and that is letter O. We'll discuss them when we come. So what we can do is we can quickly read the translation. Maybe we can start from there. We can start. You have the book, Prabhu?
No, I can't.
Okay. You want to read? No. You want? Okay.
Translation, right?
Yeah, only translation from 21. One can read, and then 25th is the one that will start. This is just you can think of it like repetition.
Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence, perfectly controlled, gives us all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and act only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reactions.
Right? So he is doing the action, but he is not attached with the results and all that we discussed. And once who does this, it becomes akarma, and then he is not affected by sinful. That's why this section is detached action. That action is there, but it is with detachment. Okay, we'll skim through this right now. Prachi, Mataji, you want to read? Yeah, 22nd.
He who is satisfied with gain which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled, although performing actions.
Yeah. Good.
The work of a man who is unattached to the hopes of material nature and who is fully treated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence.
The person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities, in which the consummation is absolute, and that seed is offered is of the same spiritual nature.
If you want, we can take a bigger font.
Yeah.
It will be little. So 24th, you read?
24th,
Yeah. Okay, so now we'll start from the verse. So 25th we are discussing. 25th to 34th, it is all about offerings. How we can offer ourselves through various ways to Krishna. So this is the section that we are going to discuss. 25 to 33. And it is offerings. So I'll just quickly revise. What all we discussed? First 4 verses is about worshipper. Then 5 to 10 is incarnation. 11 to 15 is sanction. Krishna is sanctioning. That's what Krishna mentions everything. And then 16 to 24, where we completed detached action. And now 25 to 33, it's all about offerings. What is the other word for offerings? Sacrifice. Sacrifice. What is the Sanskrit word for sacrifice? Yajna. we'll see what are the different kinds of yajna. It's not about Om Namo Swaha. Only that is not the only definition of yajna. We will see what are the different kinds of yajna. Okay. You can repeat after me. Devam eva pare yagyam yogina paryupasate brahmagnau apare yagyam yagye naivopajuvati. Shweta, you want to read? Yes.
Some yogis perfectly worship the many gods and offering different sacrifices to them. And some offer sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Lord.
We'll read another one, then we'll read the purport of it and we'll discuss both the verses together. Shotra indriyani anye samyamagnishu juvati shabdadin vishayan yan anya indriyagnishu juvati. So here it's discussed between brahmacharis and grahastha. Yeah, you want to read?
Yes.
Ankansha.
Some the unadulterated brahmachari sacrifice the hearing process and the senses in the fire of mental control, and others, the regulated householders, sacrifice the objects of the senses in the fire of the senses.
You want to read the purport as well? This is a good purport. So this is very important for us, especially as grahasthas and also if brahmacharis, right? What is how brahmacharis can offer sacrifices and how a grahastha can? It's explained. We'll discuss a little bit about this.
The members of the four divisions of human life, namely the brahmacharis, the grahasthas, the prasthas, and the sannyasis, are all meant to become perfect yogis or transcendentalists. Since human life is not meant for our enjoying sense gratification like the animals, the four orders of human life are so arranged that one will become perfect in spiritual life. The brahmacharis or students under the care of bona fide spiritual master control the mind by abstaining from sense gratification. A brahmachari hears only words concerning Krishna consciousness. Hearing is the basic principle for understanding, and therefore the pure brahmachari lives fully in Harir
Namanukirtanam,
chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord. He restrains himself from the vibrations of material sounds, and his hearing is engaged in the transcendental sound vibration of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Similarly, the householders who have some license for sense gratification perform such acts with great respect. Sex life, intoxication, and meat eating are general tendencies of human society, but a regulated householder does not indulge in unrestricted sex life and other sense gratification. Marriage on the principles of religious life is therefore current in all civilized human society, because that is the way for restricted sex life. The restricted, unattached sex life is also a kind of yagna, because the restricted householder sacrifices his general tendency toward sense gratification for the higher transcendental life.
Yeah. So here it is important. See, for brahmachari, this is mentioned hearing process. That is a sacrifice. Just by shravana, they are actually giving their. That's how they are making an offering to Krishna by engaging their mind and senses, right? But for grahasthas, see, if you think about the brahmacharis, if they want, suddenly they are asking, "I want pizza." They will not get it very easily. Why? Because they are in restricted area, right? They will have to ask someone. They don't have the money, correct? And even the food grains, correct? They cannot just make in the temple kitchen. But if a grahastha wants to suddenly want to eat pizza, he can go out, he can order, right? So grahastha ashram, they have some, you can say, license to do some sense gratification. But for brahmacharis, it's more limited. So how a grahastha can do offerings just by controlling their sense objects. They don't have to do that level what brahmacharis are doing. But just by controlling the sense objects also, they are in one way doing the sacrifices or offerings. That's what is mentioned in this section. And why in ISKCON especially, we have these 4 regulations. We'll discuss a little bit at the end of the class. which is no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, and no intoxication. It's because it is coming from Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, when Parikshit Maharaj, when he was about to, he saw a cow which was dharma personified, and that cow was getting bit by a sort of a very demonic personality. It was actually Kali personified, and he was beating that cow, and then Parikshit Maharaj came to protect that cow, and then Kali, and trying to throw away Kali from that area, and then Kali said, "You are a king, so you are supposed to protect me." So he says, "I need 4 places, or give me some place where you can give me shelter." And as a king, if someone has asked for shelter, king cannot say, "Hey, run away from here." He has to give shelter. That is the nature of the king. Kshatriya means Kshat iti trayate iti Kshatriya. Kshatriya means one who gives protection, means Kshatriya. So he has to give some protection, some shelter to that Kali. Kali is basically Kali Yuga. So Kali personified, then Parikshit says that 4 places I will give you. Dyutam, Panam, Striya, and then one more. Dyutam, Panam, Striyam, Shuna. These 4 places. This is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, and that is why Srila Prabhupada, he said that one should avoid these 4 things. Why Parikshit Maharaj give these 4 places? Because any sane person will not do these 4 things, which is illicit sex, no meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. And then Kali knew it, that not sane people will be in those areas. So then he said, where there is hoarding of unnecessary wealth and not used for proper God consciousness. Those wealth which is not used for Krishna, where hoarding of wealth is also there, also Kali will reside. So that's how the 5th place was given. But the first 4 places, and that is why in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada has given these 4 restrictions, 4 regulations. And same thing is mentioned for Grihasthas as well. Dyutam, Panam, Striya, Shuna. This is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, we'll go to the next verse. Now there is sections 27, 28 and 29. We'll just go together and we'll discuss that. This will discuss a little bit more in detail. There are 4 kinds of yajna that is described in this section. Okay. Maybe 27 we can directly read the translation. Anita, you can read.
Others who are interested in achieving self-realization through control of the mind and senses offer the functions of all the senses and of the life breath as oblations into the fire of controlled mind.
28 we can recite the verse. This is important verse. This talks about 4 kinds of yajna. Okay. Dravya yajna, stapo yajna, yoga yajna tatha pare, swadhyaya jnana yajnascha, yataya samshita smrata. Who wants to read the translation? Which is good.
Having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possessions, and others by performing severe austerities, by practicing the yoga of eightfold mysticism, or by studying the Vedas to advance in transcendental knowledge.
Yeah. So here Krishna is saying there are 4 kinds of yoga. First is Drava Yajna. Drava Yajna means giving up of some possessions. Right? Some people who can't do anything, what they'll say, I'll give some donation in the temple. Right? Or I'll do maybe I'll offer some service to the temple. Right? Because they are not so much connected with books, with wisdom, with bhakti. So they'll do once in a year, they will come in Janmashtami, they'll ask, is there some opportunity for service? And they'll do something, they'll do some donations, right? Something little. But that is at least something they're doing, some basic thing. But it can go in other way around also. Sometimes they are doing just because they want some name and fame. I was there in I was in Govardhan last year I was there, and we were in one of the, what do you call it? Dharmshala, something like that it was. But it was good. It was nicely maintained. So there when I entered, and outside of every room, there was a big poster of the person who had donated that room. and entire walls were filled up with one block, one brick. On that, the name was carved out who has that. At one sense, it is okay, but at the other sense, the one who is donating, what is his consciousness? That is important. Once a sage was going to place to get something so that he can eat something at night. So he was going every day, and every day he used to go to different houses, but somehow he used to end up going at one particular house, and that every time that lady used to say, "Go from here, don't disturb me. Go from here, don't disturb me." So this kept on happening, and then finally he thought, "I'll go today also." Because he's a sage, he doesn't get affected by man apman. So he went there again, and this time that lady got so annoyed. She said, "Today I'll show you." And whatever she had cooked, so that remains below, there is a rock, ashes, right? So she threw that ash on that sage. And then the sage said, "Take this ash, and next time don't come." And then that sage became very happy. This lady was confused. What happened? Why is he so happy? The sage said, "Today you are giving ash, tomorrow you will give cash." So the point is, at least something, that nature of giving came. So Krishna is saying that at least we can do something. We can, if not, we can give our life, but at least we can do something we can start with. And that something is Dravya Yajna, giving up of some possessions, some little bit. Right? So that is first. And second is talking about Tapo Yajna. Tapo Yajna means some austerities. If you see Janmashtami, many people, if you see many devotees all over the world, they do fasting. Full day, they won't eat anything, or they won't drink anything, or they will be only on fruits. Or during Bhishma Panchak, basically doing some kind of austerities. You will see in Govardhan Parikrama, you will see devotees walking entire 21 kilometers. Or you will see people doing Dandvat Parikrama. Some of the devotees you will see doing 108 Parikramas. That takes 7 years to complete that Parikrama. So people take up austerities, correct? And so that is also kind of yajna. But again, we can see some of the austerities can be used for your own sense gratification. Example is Ravana. He was also doing austerity, right? He was also doing tapa, but that one was for sense gratification, right? So austerities also has to be done in a proper way. There is a famous pastime that Srila Prabhupada says. He says that once there were some monkeys, and they decided that they want to do Ekadashi Vrat. Have you heard about this story? Okay. So they decided that they want to do Ekadashi Vrat. Yeah. So one monkey was really enthusiastic that abhi to karke rahenge. Today, next day, tomorrow we will do Ekadashi. So the other, today we will do the Ekadashi. So then one of the other monkeys said that, "See, today you are doing Ekadashi, tomorrow is Dwadashi. You are supposed to break your fast. But you will not have that much strength to pluck the fruits, eat the fruits and all that. So what I would suggest is, you go and sit on the branch. Today, sit on the branch only, and next day then, near the branch, you have to just pluck the fruit and eat it. It is a little easier for you." So the monkey who was doing the austerity, Ekadashi, but he thought, okay, this is actually, he's really my well-wisher. So I should go and sit in the branch, and I will sit there only. So the next day it will be easier for me to break the fast. So he sat on the branch. And then the other monkey said, "See, you sat on the branch, that is very nice. But see, tomorrow, full day of fasting, tomorrow you will not have the strength to even pluck the fruit. What I would suggest is, you pluck the fruit and keep it with you and eat it next day morning." So this monkey thought, yeah, this guy is really my well-wisher. He's thinking about my health and all. He said, "Okay, I'll pluck the fruit." He plucked the fruit. And then he said, "See, you have plucked the fruit, right? But tomorrow you will not have the strength to even, eat the fruit. So what I would suggest is, you keep the fruit in your mouth, but don't swallow it. You keep it in your mouth, but don't swallow it. And next day, you don't have to do anything. As soon as the time comes, you just gulp it. Very easy for you." So he said, yeah, he's really my well-wisher. So that fruit was mango. He took the fruit, he kept it in his mouth. But slowly that juice was entering inside. And then he thought, "इतना कर ही लिया तो then he took it. So that was Srila Prabhupada said that one has to be very careful when performing these austerities, in the sense of one has to do it very strictly and think Krishna, because main thing is Krishna is the focus. That is the reason we are doing the austerity. Many times once Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur said, even if you are not able to do Ekadashi, but if you are 24/7, you are able to remember Krishna, that is more important. Anyways, so one can offer yajna through some austerities. Then third kind of yajna is yoga yajna, means doing some yogic postures and all, and through that one is, because then one gets some siddhis. Once you get some siddhis, then you can control the elements of nature, right? And that way you can do some service, correct? But that can also be misused. Like His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj mentions in the book Journey Home. He says that he met a yogi who, what he used to do is he used to show some magic, and then Maharaj asked that yogi that what happened. You are doing this your magic and all. That means you are a very elevated personality. So what are you doing this magic and getting some money from the people and all that? So he said that I actually learned the art of elevation, walking on the water, and all this I learned from my Gurudev. But I was in this. When I learned this, I wanted to show off to the public. And then my Gurudev, he kicked me out of the ashram, saying that you're not fit to be here and learn the yoga. Why? Because you are misusing that yoga. You want to show off. And then I'm here just showing off, getting some name and fame. Sometimes people can misuse. In fact, in Kumbh Mela, still the government of India don't know how so many people all over the world, how these Babajis and all, they all come to that Kumbh Mela suddenly, and then from there where they go, they don't know. Still they are trying to figure it out, how so many millions of people come to that Kumbh Mela, and after that Kumbh Mela is done, they are gone. Why? Because they have some siddhis from water, whatever it is. So, and fourth, we are talking about is Swadhyaya Yajna. Swadhyaya Yajna means by giving your knowledge, basically by studying the Vedas. But that can also be misused in the sense of one can learn the Vedas, but then in learning the Vedas, one can become like an impersonalist, armchair philosopher, right? Like a university professor and all, but not really understanding what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And that is why Srila Prabhupada says, that will come in 33rd verse, that there is another kind of yajna, and that is bhakti yajna, which is offering everything, dravya, yoga, then swadhyaya and tapa, all this in Krishna's service. That is in verse number 33rd. So we will now discuss, quickly we will go through the verse 29 to 33, and then we will discuss a little bit about Julan Yatra. Okay. Today I want to keep it short. So who wants to read the 29th translation?
Still others who are inclined to the process of breath restraint to remain in trance, practice by offering the movement out of the outgoing breath into the incoming, and the incoming breath into the outgoing, and thus at last remain in trance, stopping all breathing. Others, curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into itself as a sacrifice.
So this is talking about, again, if you think about it, stopping, incoming, all this, if you think about it, it's so tough. And that is why for this Kali Yuga, Krishna has said just chanting the holy names of the Lord can give you all the siddhis, in the sense of most important is love about it, the topmost knowledge, topmost portion of bliss, just by chanting the holy names of the Lord. Okay. You can read the next translation. Oh, you read?
All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reactions, and having tasted the nectar of result of sacrifices, they advance towards the supreme eternal atmosphere.
So we are talking about offerings, sacrifices. Next verse.
O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next?
Yeah, see, why Krishna is speaking about all this? Krishna is saying to Arjuna that you are trying to run away in action, you are trying to run away from the battlefield, But everyone has to do some sacrifice. Everyone has to do something for the society. Right? Either you are doing something for your family, or more broader for your friends, more broader for the community, more broader for country, more broader for entire universe, maybe directly through Krishna. But everyone is serving in some or the other way. Everyone is doing some sacrifices. That's why Krishna is telling here, because he wanted to run away. So Krishna is indirectly saying you have to fight. Okay, who is reading next? Yeah, go ahead.
All these different types of sacrifice are approved by the Vedas, and all of them are born of different types of work. Knowing them as such, you will become liberated.
We'll do 33rd and then we'll discuss this verse only now in length. Shreyan dravya mayad yagya jnana yagya parantapa sarvam karmakhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Translation? Who wants to read? Yeah, sorry. Nakul.
O chastiser of the enemy, the sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than the mere sacrifice of material possessions. After all, O son of Pita, all sacrifices of work culminate in transcendental knowledge.
Right? So at the end, everything, whatever yoga, yagya, sacrifice, offerings that we are doing, it culminates in bhakti yoga, transcendental knowledge, wisdom. Right? So it is important that we understand that the yoga of love is the supreme of all the different kinds of yoga. The yoga of love, which is bhakti yoga. I don't know whether I told this story about Bhatrahari. Did I tell you? Story of king from Ujjain. His brother's name was Vikramaditya. Have you heard about Vikramaditya? That serial used to come, Vikramaditya. So his brother was Bhartahari, his name was. And Bhartahari, this king, was a very pious king, very nice king. And throughout his life, he wrote 3 shatakams. Shatakam means poems of 100 verses. Shatak, you remember? Sachin Tendulkar, yeah, Shatak. So Shatakam, he wrote 100 verses. 3 Shatakams he wrote. First Shatakam that he wrote was known as Niti Shatakam. Niti Shatakam means 100 verses talking about Niti, logic, politics, economy. This was the 100 verse. Why? Because he was king. So, because king, he wanted to make sure that whatever knowledge he has gained, he passed down. Right? Disciplic succession. So, he wrote Niti Shatakam. And then, second Shatakam that he wrote was, he had a wife and her name was Pingala. And he used to really love his wife a lot, Pingala. So, just out of the love that he had for his wife, he wrote second Shatakam, which was known as Shringar Shatakam. Shringar means one can think of like beauty. So 100 verses glorifying the beauty of Pingala. So he was very enamored by her beauty and he used to love her a lot. And there was one sage who was so inspired by this king. He came one day to the king and he said that the amount of service that you have done to this kingdom, to this community, I'm very inspired by you and I want to reciprocate. And I want to give you a gift. And that gift is a fruit of immortality. If you just have this fruit, you'll become immortal. This king thought, my God, if I have this fruit, even Brahmaji is looking for immortality. And if I just have this fruit, I'll become immortal. It's such an amazing gift. He felt very humbled by whatever service he has done to the community. And then entire night he was thinking, should I eat this fruit or what should I do? But then he thought that if I eat this fruit, what will happen? I will live forever. But what is the point if Pingala, she is no more? Because he knows the ultimate truth. Everybody has to die. So he thought that I can show my love to her, reciprocate my love to her by giving this fruit of immortality to my wife. So next day morning, he goes and he says to her wife that, Pingala, I want to gift you something. I really love you, I want to give you something. And that gift that I want to give to you is this fruit of immortality. His wife Pingala was thinking, my God, my husband, king, the great king, is giving me this fruit of immortality. which shows how much he loves me. So she was very thankful, very grateful. But then in that night, she was thinking, what should I do of this fruit? Should I eat it? But then she was thinking that she was loving a charioteer, because when king was busy with her kingly duties, she used to go with the charioteer and see the entire kingdom and all that. So she somehow fell in love with the charioteer. So she thought that, oh, what will I do of this fruit of immortality if I eat? But charioteer, whom I really love, he will die. Soon he will die. Then he thought, I'll give this fruit. So then she said to charioteer that I never told you this, but I was in love with you, and I want to reciprocate this love by giving this fruit of immortality to you. The charioteer felt, wow, what am I getting? Fruit of immortality. That too from the queen of the kingdom. So that night he couldn't sleep. He was thinking, what should I do with this fruit of immortality that I have got? Then he was thinking that, yeah, I can eat this fruit, but then what will I do of living? Because he was loving a prostitute in that kingdom. So he thought, okay, next day I'll give this fruit to that lady, and through that I will show my love. So next day, this king, this charioteer, he goes to that prostitute and says that, I want to show my love to you. I never told you this before. I really love you, and this is a fruit of immortality that I want to give you. And that prostitute said, oh, I didn't know this. So she felt very humbled. She took the fruit. But that night, she couldn't sleep. She was thinking, what should I do of this fruit? She thought, oh, I always loved one man, which I never was able to tell. He was above my league, Premier League. I couldn't tell him that I love him so much. But I think through this fruit of immortality, I can show my love to him. So then she goes to the king. So to the king he goes, and she, outside the door, there's guards were there. The guard says, no, you're not allowed. King is very busy. She says, no, you don't know. I have something very, very precious. I'm pretty sure the king will like it. He said, no, king doesn't have time. Then she says, no, you tell the king there's something precious I want to give. So the guard go inside, and king tells the king that there is something special that this lady has come, and really she wants to give. So the king said, okay, let her come. Better be really precious. So this lady comes inside, and then she says that you have no idea how much I loved you, but today I want to show my love by giving you something which you will not believe. There is a fruit of immortality. You will not believe I know. He said, no, I believe. Why? Because he understood this. So she said that I want to give you this fruit of immortality. And the king understood that, oh my God, I gifted this fruit to my wife, Pingala, because I loved her. Looks like she loved someone else, and that love somehow it came to this lady. And then he understood that whatever love we are trying to find out in this material world is just a waste of time. And then he wrote the third Shatakam, which was Vairagya Shatakam, which was 100 verses talking about renunciation. So basically, Krishna explains in this Bhagavad Gita that whatever we are trying to find out happiness in this material world, somehow or the other. But Krishna is saying that this material world is defined by only two words: Dukkhalayam, Ashashvata. Only by two words: Dukkhalayam, Ashashvata. This is a place where there will be miseries, and at the same time, it is temporary. We will try to invest ourselves by various ways, but somehow or the other we will always fall short. There might not be reciprocation. Krishna says in this 4th chapter, Ye yatha ma prapaddante tam sathaiva bhajamyam. How you approach me, that's how I reciprocate. Right? We try to find so many investment strategies. Right? Like there are 4 things that one has to understand before doing any kind of investment. You can think of it like 4 R's. 4 R's. If any kind of investment you have to do, it has to be done taking into consideration this 4 R, letter R. So First, R is risk reward ratio. Risk reward ratio. That what is the risk and what is the reward, right? In this case, if you think about it, chanting the holiness of the Lord, that is the investment, right? That is the investment that Srila Prabhupada is saying. When someone approached Srila Prabhupada, reporter, and said that, what if Krishna is not there? You are doing all this. What if Krishna is not there? And Srila Prabhupada said, still we have a very sattvic life. We enjoy it, right? If you think about it, we are coming together, eating, glorifying Krishna, meeting new friends, correct? Bhakti Maharaj says one day that to his government officials, because he wanted some help from the government because he was building a farm. So he invited the government official and he said, tell me one other place when you see an Englishman, a person from Africa, a person from America, an Indian, all of them coming together and serving. Show me one place. And he said it can happen only when they understand that there is one Father, one Supreme Father. So like that, if you see, Srila Prabhupada said that even if Krishna is not there, let's say he's not there, still we had a very enjoyable life. We ate, we served Krishna, we met friends, we led a very sattvic life. But then he said, what if Krishna is there? He looked at the reporter and said, all the best. Right? We have given millions of lifetimes to sense gratification. Srila Prabhupada said, just give one life to Krishna and then see. Only one life. So just risk is very less. Only one life risk is there. But the reward is so big. Ocean of bliss. Right? That is the risk-reward ratio. And second is rate of return. Rate of return means, okay, reward is ocean of bliss. When will it come? Right? When will that result come? When will that return of investment will come? And Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam, that's why Srimad Bhagavatam is so important. Whatever philosophy we are reading in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam explains us through in the form of story. Parikshit Maharaj asked exactly the same question to Shukadeva Goswami. I have only 7 days to live. What should I do? Can I really attain perfection? Can I really become realized personality? What can happen? I have only 7 days to live. And then Shukadeva Goswami, he talks about Khatvanga, Maharaj Khatvanga, who just within a moment, he realized that why am I wasting my life? And then he took up Krishna consciousness with full heart. So, Srila Prabhupada through that he says that you need only a moment to take up Krishna consciousness. Sincerely. He says, if you think about it, when we are chanting the holiness of the Lord, there are many broken names. Sometimes we are chanting, sometimes seeing like this. Today boss will shout or not, I have a one-on-one with manager. So many things might go on, right? But you are praying that of all that broken names basically, not inattentive chanting. With all that, I'm looking for that one name which is chanted with pure love, really with helplessness, that Krishna, you are my ultimate Shakti. That's what we are looking for, that one name with full sincerity out of the thousands of broken names that we are chanting. Right? So that is the rate of return. And then reachability. Third is R is reachability. Who are eligible? If you see stock market and all, money market and all, maybe 5-year-old, 4-year-old might not be allowed. Right? But in this case, you see each and every personality is allowed. Someone might say in the womb, how can someone hear about Krishna? It's not possible. Womb already, we saw that video in Gita in nutshell. Worms and all, so many are biting. The baby is in a very precarious situation. But then we see the story of Prahlad Maharaj. Correct? In the womb, Prahlad Maharaj heard entire Srimad Bhagavatam from Narada Muni. Correct? Then one might think, in the childhood, Chanchala Mana Krishna. People keep jumping. Today we were doing the chanting, right? Kirtan, we saw some noise was coming. Correct? Kishori and the Ramachandra, they were all excited. So one might think that, how can you take up Krishna consciousness in a very young age, right? Age of 4, 5, 6, 7. How? It is not possible. Chanchala Mana Krishna and all that. But then we just see the story of Dhruva. Right? We see the story of Dhruva. At the young age, he says, I want to see Krishna, I want to see Vishnu. Right? So we see Dhruva Maharaj. Then one might think, oh, in the old age it is very difficult. Why? Because old age mind becomes hardwired, right? So used to particular way, it is difficult to convince someone to change the perspective, correct? But then we see the story of Dhritarashtra. Vidura comes to Dhritarashtra and explains him after the entire Kurukshetra war. What are you doing? You are staying here as a dog, and you're not realizing that you're already at your fat end of your life. Now, please take up the spiritual life. Ask yourself, who am I? It's very important. And then Dhritarashtra said, I should leave. And then he goes alone without telling anyone, he leaves. Right? And then one might think, what about just about to die? Right? Oh, that time mind goes here and there. Dukan pe kaun hai? You remember? We speak about this story again and again. Right? One is thinking, whatever energy mind has given through our entire life, one might think about the same thing at the end of the life. But then we see the story of Ajamil. Right? Ajamil in 6th canto. We see that how at the end of the life, about to die, and he chanted the name of Narayan. And just through that, Mriyamano Hare Nama, Rinputra Pacharitam, Ajamilo Pyagadhama, Kim Uta Shraddayagdeva. Mriyamano Hare Nama. He chanted the name of Hari, chanted the name of Narayan, that too indirectly, but still he got the ultimate abode. So then Shukadeva Goswami says, where is the doubt that this process of Hare Krishna Mahamantra will not work? Where is the doubt? Right? So from womb to tomb, right? From womb to tomb, everyone is eligible for this investment, for this Krishna consciousness. Right? And final R is rules and regulations. So what is the 3R we discussed till now? Risk reward ratio. Second one was rate of return. Third one was teachability. Who all are allowed. And fourth is rules and regulations. Rules is very simple. One should not offend the Vaishnava. Because we see that throughout Srimad Bhagavatam we have seen, if anyone has offended Srimad Vaishnava, because a Vaishnava is very dear to Krishna, offending a Vaishnava is as good as offending Krishna. So one has to be a little careful dealing with Vaishnavas. Because they are saintly people. And regulations are obviously we discussed at the start of the class, which is Dyutam Panam Striyashana. No meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, and no intoxication. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mam eti so Arjuna. That, oh Arjun, whoever understands this divine appearance and activities, we discussed it earlier. So one will not have to take birth again in this material world. And Krishna tells in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, Mad Graha Utsava Yatra, that one should celebrate my festivals. Utsava means festivals. One should celebrate it with full, how much ever they can. Mad Graha, in my home, which is temple or wherever Krishna resides. Okay. So basically anything devotees, they need bahana. What do bahana in English? Reason. They need some reason to celebrate the festival of Krishna, Radha Krishna. So same is the Julan Yatra. So can you tell Nityan Rai and Manjil that we'll start the Kirtan and we'll start the Julan? Someone can. Yeah. So I'll just talk 2 minutes about Julan Yatra, and then we will. Oh, I forgot. Every week we read a little bit about Vaishnava etiquette. So we'll read that and then we will start. We will skip the Hare Krishna mantra because now anyways we'll be doing that. So because of the respect of the time, we will skip that part. So why is Julan Yatra celebrated? It's because in the month of Sawan, the ladies basically they go to Maika. They go there back and they basically spend some time with their parents. And it's the time when it's greenery a lot because Barishka, there is time of that. And that time also there is a lot of humidity. So once they are on the swing and wind is blowing, it feels nice. So similarly, Radharani also wanted to come to her parents' place, and there is an entire pastime of that. And it starts from, usually in Vrindavan they celebrate it for entire 1 month. For 1 month they celebrate it. In Nandagaon, they celebrate 1 month. In Vrindavan, specifically, they celebrate for 13 days, 2 weeks almost. And in Jagannath Puri, they celebrate for 7 days. But in ISKCON, under the guidance of obviously His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, we do from Ekadashi, which was this time it was I think Saturday or Sunday, till Purnima, which was Balaram Purnima. So yesterday you saw many devotees doing Julian Yatra, basically serving the Lord by giving swing. Right? We can serve the Lord in any way. We can serve the Lord through offering prasad, bhoga, and also through doing swing. So that's what we are going to do. We'll start in 5 to 10 minutes when Manjari comes. Okay, so now we will stop here, and what we are going to read is Vaishnava etiquettes. We read little bit till B yesterday, like last week. We discussed 2 parts: being humble and offering obeisances. How to offer obeisances to the Lord. This is about temple. So now today we are going to discuss C and D. We will see how much we can read, and then we will only another 3-4 minutes. Okay. This is about meditating upon the deity. Who wants to read now? Nakul, you read? Okay. You want to read, Palla? Oh. Okay. Maybe I can like this. Oh, but then they cannot see. So you can come little bit. This is a good reason to come in front.
Come in the front, yeah. Meditating upon the deity.
Yeah.
After offering obeisance to the deities, one should take darshana with great devotion and beg for their mercy. One should not, however,
This is important. How we should, when we enter the temple, we have already offered dandavats to Srila Prabhupada. Now we are facing the deities. How we should take darshan of the deities. Okay. Go ahead, Palla.
one should not, however, immediately look upon the deities full in the face. The proper manner in which one should take darsana of the Lord is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.2.13. The process of meditation should begin from lotus feet of the Lord and progress to His smiling face. The meditation should be concentrated upon the lotus feet, then the calves, then the thighs, and in this way higher and higher. The more the mind becomes fixed on different parts of the limbs, one
Namo Vishwaya Krishna Vishwaya Vipare Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Saraswati Devi Gauravani Charani Vishesha Shrimati Bhasha Jai Shri Krishna Jai Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Sati Gauravaktananda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.